Welcome to Intelexx, a place for entrepreneurs podcast. This is season 3, episode 3, and we have our featured entrepreneur, Mr. CJ Wolf, photographer, creator, and all around entrepreneur. Welcome. Thank you for taking the time out to speak with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Really a pleasure.
Yes, so for those who don't know, can you tell them who is CJ Wolf?
Yeah, CJ Wolf got a long story, but to start it off, CJ is a disruptor in the industry. CJ is a creative entrepreneur. CJ created content for over 15 professional athletes. CJ was a student athlete in college. I was a financial advisor, and I lasted 2 years working in corporate, and then I bet on myself and became a full-time creative entrepreneur, and that led to the success that I had with freelance photography in order to build up a creative agency, and most importantly, a creative studio, which is Immortal Studio. And I'm just here to turn amateur photographers and videographers, more so content creators, and make them to professionals so they can do what I did, and go start their own creative enterprise.
That's awesome. So what made you decide to want to do freelance photography?
Yeah, so it's a long story into that on how I got to that point, and pretty much I was a student athlete, so I was playing all the way from 5 years old up until 24 when I graduated college. And when I was from like 8 to 12, I was dominating the competition at like the highest level of AAU basketball. I now played against a lot of guys that's like in the NBA today from different cities, and I played for Team Kobe, and we was really good. And I'll touch on that because that was a very important part of my life, because I was a kid that was always getting in trouble, whether at school, at home, and stuff like that. So some things had happened, and my family, my mom and dad took that basketball stuff away from me. And at this time, AAU is really big. It gets you to the D1 level, the circuit, and pretty much once that got taken away from me a little bit, like from the summers and stuff, I had to focus on other stuff because I was in the house, and that really made me focus on just little stuff on the computer, and I was always interested into that. But growing up in the inner city, when you are talented in sports, that's what you're known for. And I always like to dibble and dabble with fashion, but I never wanted to be myself, and that was even leading up to high school. High school, I got in trouble again, and it was taken away from me, so I wasn't playing AAU, but I was playing high school basketball because my parents really couldn't take that away from me, because once I got in trouble in 9th grade, doing some ugly stuff, being a follower, it was taken away from me, but I couldn't really play AAU again. So I had to find different ways to keep me busy and stuff like that, and that was with the computer technology, gaming and stuff like that, and I picked up on a lot of skills. But growing up in the city, we just ain't have the income to purchase one, or even be like, hey, I can do this and make money off of it. That just wasn't a thing. It just was like, it's a hobby, and it's a thing that we are pretty talented at, but we just don't. I didn't have anybody that looked like me, talked like me, that actually did it, let alone anyone that I could talk to that did it. And to fast forward, once I got in college, I played Division 3. So basically, Division 1 is like the highest level. Division 2 is like medium. Division 3 is like the bottom of the bottom, unless you go to junior college. But for universities, I would play Division 3, and we know Division 3 with sports, the budget isn't that big. So there were some things I picked up being a communications major, realizing that, hey, we didn't have no social media for our basketball team. We didn't have any videos. And I just wanted to kind of like experience the Duke within, my college that I went to. And of course, it's not, we talking about a 2,500 university compared to 50,000. But I just thought that should have been for everyone. They call it the power of small. And I was always like finding myself helping with that and playing at the same time, which was like unheard of, and something that was like cultivating a culture. And that don't make no sense. It makes sense on why I'm doing what I do now, because I was always, bringing in a culture and those experiences, especially around technology and media and content. And then, of course, once I graduated, they always say get a job, and that's what I did. and I was a financial advisor, suit and tie every day. Definitely not showing up to work like this. And I was just banging calls out, and I'm very competitive, and I was doing good to be in communications and marketing major, to working in finance, and studying to get different series and licensing so I can sell stocks, life insurance. That wasn't easy, but I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know how. And I was still taking photos at the time. I worked with, up until that time, Meek Mill, Little Uzi, Will Parks, and a plethora of other people. And then I remember I was in Mexico. I was in Cabo, and I traveled. This was in the beginning of the pandemic. And I traveled to 2 countries within like a week and a half with one of my clients, Will Parks. And on the last stop, before we was leaving the next day, you know how you always up during those trips before you leave. You want to get all the fun out before you got to go back to work.
Right.
And since it was the beginning of the pandemic, a lot of clients were asking me about their life insurance and their stocks. What should I do with it? The market is crashing, X, Y, Z. I had a few clients that passed away, and they had to call me so they can get their life insurance and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I remember a mentor told me, you got to pick one. You want to be a great financial advisor, you want to be a great photographer. And I'm like, I can do both. And I found myself on that trip, couldn't do both because those people was calling me, trying to see what they should do with their money, but I'm also got to be with my client. So I'm like, okay, I got to find a way out. Then I pivoted, went to a bank, more 9 to 5 instead of financial advisor, building my business, and building my books within that. And then I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna just bet on myself. I'm gonna do a 5-year plan in corporate, and then I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna go work at a bank 5 years, be that personal banker. I know I got my Mondays and Fridays off on Saturdays and Sundays, and that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna get out of financial advising, going to find clients, and just be at a bank. They give me clients, salary, cool. When I was a financial advisor, you can make up to whatever you make up to on how many sales you want. So I had people making $1 million, I had people making $50,000 within that. So that really taught me a lot of skills on how to hustle, how to sell, and get relationships. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to the bank. I got that part, go to the bank 5 years, corporate job, and then I'm gonna, be an entrepreneur. I always wanted like a studio or something. The 5 years turned into like 2-3 months for me because I had the studio and it was doing good. And I'm like, okay, if I'm putting 30%, because I'm tired, like I'm not moving at work, I'm sitting behind the desk. I'm like, if I can put 30% and I can get these numbers on payouts, of course we got taxes and all that stuff, but if I can do gross sales doing 30% of the work, what if I do 100% of the work? Where would that take me? And I had interns at the time working at the bank. So they already think like, oh, you getting a lot of money. You wearing a suit and tie, you look nice. Them not doing, I'm only getting like 80,000. Yeah, it may be a lot to a college kid, but it's really not a lot of money. And not something that I see myself in. I don't judge, my work off of money, but people start to look at you like, okay, I'm putting this work in at your company, and you wearing a suit and tie, you working at the bank, so you get double, all that stuff. And not even just thinking about what they're thinking, just myself and holding myself accountable. I cannot be in a position of that. I need to be there. There was times I couldn't take their phone calls because I'm working. I only have 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes probably on a break, working 8 hours, which is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just go 100%, and I'm gonna eat the bullet. And if it don't work, I can just go back. Because I got my licenses, I got my certifications. I worked for Fortune 500 companies. I was leading it. My managers love me. I still got their support till today. So, got my degree. So I'm like, if that don't work, I can just go back. And luckily, they won't have to see me come back.
Right.
So far.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the studio. I know this was recent this year. And Immortal Vision Studio is really a dope name. Do you want to talk a little bit more about how you came to that name?
Yeah, I wanted something to be, because I was doing photography, so that was where I was going off since 2017. I was coming up with a name 2017, took me like a year or so to come up with a name. In 2018, I really was able to get a camera. My friend let me hold a camera in 2017, so I was like, to go dabbing with it. 2018 when I really got to it. And it was always bigger than me. I never wanted to do like CJ photography or CJ Wood photography or, I didn't want something that could talk about me nor talk about photography. I wanted something that could be universal. something, and that's why our studio has so much success thus far, because we are universal. We got merchandise. We coming out with a home collection, for like candles. We got socks. What else we got? We got Discords. We got NFTs. We got classes like T-shirts. We got so much stuff, and it's universal. It's just not CJ Wolf. I mean, CJ Wolf Studio, that would have sounded fire. Sometimes I'll be thinking about, about that. But it's so much more than just, Immortal Photography or Immortal Video, because I'm locking myself in. And I remember when my boss told me, he said, "Oh, you want to go do photography? Like, the average person in photography make maybe 60,000, if that. I'm being generous. Like, what do you mean?" And people of color only make 6.7% of the demographic of photographers. So to him, it was something that was like unheard of. Yeah. And but he never knew it wasn't just photography. I was going to use the skills that I learned to teach others, and we all know when you teach others, you got a village. When you got a village, if you go down to there tomorrow, I know they can pick me up because I gave them so much knowledge. And that's what the name came from. It was something that was never dying, immortal. You never dying, and keep your vision always going. Because if I would have sat and said, "Okay, you're right, I can't make money in photography," or if I would have said, "Hey, I love how this corporate job is," I would never chase what I was passionate about or my dream. So keep that vision immortal. And I tell people all the time, make that vision immortal. If you don't already have that vision, no matter what comes into your life, whatever obstacles you come into, and I know my risk is way more bigger than others because I didn't have any responsibilities, no kids, and I understand that. However, still make your vision immortal no matter what comes into life. So that's what the studio is about. It's just not about the studio come create here and that's it. It's Immortal Vision Studio. Like, our vision is not, whatever comes in the way is not going to block us out. And also, our vision is going to continue to go. So we already think about expanding. Here, we 17 months in, but okay, what's next? After 3 years when we out of this lease, we're going for 10,000 square footage already, and that's what we're looking at. So we're making that vision immortal, and it's never dying as long as we are.
Yes, that's amazing. So I know you talked about a little bit about NFTs. Do you want to go into that a little bit?
Yeah, so we dropping an NFT project. We really cultivating with the people inside of our creative community. We got over 600 people in our creative community thus far in 17 months. And pretty much NFTs is non-fungible tokens, and it allows you to be on a blockchain, Web3, and it allows you to have ownership. And what we want to do is be the first creative studio that I know of to put NFTs and accept cryptocurrency as a form of payment to utilize our studio. NFTs gives you access to something. It unlocks you to something. So pretty much when you purchase our NFT, it's going to unlock you to stuff that you wouldn't be able to experience if you didn't have the NFT. So one thing that I can probably easily break down, everyone, that mask guy, that cartoon guy, everyone would have one. So for example, you would have one, and if they purchase one, they get 20% off all studio rentals, and then they'll also have invites to private events, and then also private classes that we hold. However, they will have access to you. So if you are a creative agency, networking and connecting people with different agencies, maybe they have two free months with you, or a whole year with you, and pretty much that's how we bring them into our community. So we got some NFL guys to come on to the project that I took photos of and videos of, and pretty much they're going to get that. If they purchase the NFT, they'll get this stuff from the studio, and however they have a chance to meet them, they have a chance to go to a game, they have a chance to get a signed football or glove from them, and also be able to have a one-on-one dinner with them.
Oh, that's decent.
That's an experience just for them having an NFT. So that's where we are heading, and that's what we are doing with Immortal Vision Studio.
Yeah. So do you host classes on this?
We do. So like all that stuff, a lot of people like, okay, how do I buy one? How do I, get educated on it and stuff like that. And our goal, before we even rolled it out, it's not rolled out yet, so you got, to scoop on it a little bit before others, but we educating people on it. We educating people once a month. And the first one was WTF is an NFT, because a lot of people just don't know that's a non-fungible token that gives you access. So we just broke that down. And the next one is going to be during our community weekend in August. That's going to be about how to open your wallet and being able to buy that cryptocurrency so you can purchase different NFTs. So we are definitely opening up a segue of educational classes and courses. So that way, once we are ready to launch it, our creative community, they already got their trust in us, but we want to educate them more and just don't say, hey, buy it because CJ said. No, you actually going to understand it, and then you can go buy other projects and invest in other stuff. But then when it comes to NFTs, so that's what we're doing here: educate, empower, and connect with people. And those are the three things that we stand by here.
That's awesome. So what would you say was or is your biggest achievement so far, and why?
See me, I'm tough with that because I'm always on go, and it's like, all right, I did that. What's next?
Right.
And that gratitude is really difficult for me to instill within myself. And like, I'm never sitting down. I'm always like, all right, what's next? What's next? What I gotta do. So, that's something that I really haven't, thought about. Because I had so many good achievements. But I would say the most special achievement was probably, the most special achievement was looking at our reports from the first year and seeing how much we paid to creators. And it was special because we paid in total $15,000 to creators to do photography jobs, video jobs, websites, whatever the case may be, right? Clients came to us, and that's how we distributed, gave out the funds. And it was the most special because we look at 15,000 and we know we're putting that money back into our creators and our community. But it was special to give people that confidence and opportunity by not talking about the 15,000, but to put that many people to jobs to complete.
Right.
And we had that in our first year when we did our our reports and all that stuff. That's what I've seen, and that's what the numbers tell us. So it just painted a big picture of like, okay, we did that in the first year. Doubling that is nothing because we had a 115% increase in our space. We also had a 70% increase in clientele within the 7 months of this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just like going to keep growing and growing, and that's like the most special thing to me. That's like the most special thing.
Well, from the head trickles down, so however you are, it falls in line with your team. So how important to you is having a solid team?
It's very important. Without a team, we wouldn't be here today probably. I put a lot of trust into the team. And with that, it's not easy. It's not easy. And one thing that I say is you gotta learn before you earn. Once you learn, you can drop the L and you can earn. So many people just try to earn so quickly, they miss steps on trying to learn. So that's whether if you're trying to build a team, you haven't been a student of how to build a team or even be a part of a team. And I just had practice from that, from being a student athlete, from playing at the high levels, collegiate levels and stuff like that. And also being in a tough environment as a financial advisor at Northwestern Mutual and at TD Bank, being a personal banker. So it's very important. It's something that takes time. I'm still working every day on how I can become a better leader and how I can help others and just be impactful as as much as possible. But it's always, I'm not the smartest on my team, right? I'm not the smartest. I'm not, but they trust me, and I think I keep my word. So that's probably that plays into it. But having a team is like super important. You can't do nothing without it. And team just means together each achieve more. So no matter if you're here or there, everyone is on the same playing field. We all just trying to get to the same goal.
Yeah. So, yeah, I asked that because a lot of people see you, but they don't necessarily see the team,
Right.
and think that you're just doing it all by yourself,
Right.
when it's really important to have a team. So thank you for explaining that. So when it comes to success, there is always struggle, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say in your life when it came to the struggles and the pain? How did that push you into your purpose?
Yeah, so like I said, I really don't even like dwell on like my accomplishments or for my failures. Like I just like keep going. So sometimes it's just a matter of like I won't forget stuff, but it won't affect me as much. And people play all the time like I don't got no feelings or something. And it's like I do have feelings, but I'm just so knowing what I want. Like I'm so locked in and I know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not getting me closer to what I want, it's like, okay, how do I figure that out? Just finding out, just finding out solutions on how to get over the hump, or not having a hangover over the success you just had the night or day before, because it's a new day and what you did yesterday don't matter. So it's just about like just simple as cliche it is, I just keep going.
Right.
And I just make sure I keep doing that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people tend to either be stuck in the past or stuck too far into what's next, that they don't appreciate.
I mean, it's a marathon, and it's about who quit first. You can be this close to success,
Mm-hmm.
or this close to getting to where you want to be, but you just quit.
Well, what is your definition of success?
Definition of success is being able to achieve something that you set out that you was going to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So not really a goal, but hitting that goal or coming as close as possible.
Right.
Also like freedom, like that's what I look at success as. Like once I can have freedom, and I think I am successful, and I know I reached a part of my life that I had a little bit of success. I'm not successful. I had a little bit of success because that freedom part. So now I don't gotta look at what I wear every day before I go into the office. I can come as I am. I can speak as I am because I'm speaking to my people. And I'm speaking to my people, good and stuff, but
Right.
it's just a different way. And it's just helping others. I'm impacting others. I'm having freedom when I create, how I create. And just impacting, empowering people, and really just helping others see it. Because when I was younger, I ain't have nobody that I could look up to, especially in my city or close to, and be like, yo, I want to be like that, or I want to model that person.
Right.
I model so many different people, but it wasn't within a creative studio, it wasn't within a creative agency.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't within the streetwear fashion. July 22nd through 23rd, the end of July, we're doing a Immortal tour, and pretty much what I did was get the most creative and talented photographers to jump off this first tour. We had 5 photographers, and they were basically going to showcase and display their work, framed, unreleased work that they did with people that they work with. So I know a lot of our photographers specialize in fashion, model, sports. Worked with guys from Ben Simmons to Tierra Whack to Miles Sanders to Tasha Cloud, and just a bunch of other people that they work with, Nike, New Balance, and they're just going to display their work, and it's going to give you a chance to see their work, feel their work, touch their work, and most importantly, meet the photographer and understand their story within the work that they took. So it's just different than an Instagram form, and you just liking the picture and scrolling down. You're really going to be able to see their work within a full gallery. And with within the Immortal tour, and we're gonna have more to come. That's what we are bringing and bridging the gap for, especially our Black photographers.
Yeah, I love that. And you said is it going to be here at the studio?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Y'all
first
heard it
one gonna
here.
The first one going to be here at the studio, and then the whole vision for the tour is we're going to go to different cities, and then different places in Philadelphia, and set up and curate the Immortal tour.
That's decent.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so what's one gem that you would like to leave with the people? I know you said a bunch of them already, but
A gem? I mean, it depends what people think gems are. Because my gems is like simple. And I just say don't reinvent the wheel. If it's not broke, you don't gotta fix it. And I think people should be overpowered with love and inspiration, and that really gets you to bigger visions and different visions than others. And I'm filled with different inspirations that I have from people, from Pharrell, from Virgil, from people like Cam Kurt, and even people that's not into the creative realm. I'm just filled with like inspiration. So I just think people should be focusing on finding inspiration from others, adding their own twists, and doing it with respect and not copying from what they see, but make sure they add their own twist. And I think that originality will get you farther than trying to do something or copy from what you've already seen. And then, originality takes longer to blow, but it's more sustainable. So you gotta be consistent and just continue to go. And no matter what it looks like, you gotta sacrifice a lot of things. Sacrifice fun, sacrifice friends. It's sad to say sometimes you gotta sacrifice family time in order for you to get to where you wanna get to. Because when you're telling your vision to small-minded people, it's like saying nothing to them because they just won't understand it. And it's not that they hate it or anything, they just don't understand where you're trying to go. So I just think with those gems and those things that I apply to my life and to my journey, and it's been working well thus far. So number one is believe in God. That's what I do. So
yes, that foundation is key. Yeah, well, thank you so much for taking this time out. How can people connect with you?
So they can connect with me in a few different ways. Definitely social media is like the quickest and best way. So CJX Wolf on all platforms, and then also Immortal Vision Studio, which is Philadelphia's favorite place to create, and we say we more than a studio. So come create with us. And then we also got a private Discord chat. So it's the Immortal Vision Studio on all platforms. And they can just hop in the chat and see what's up with us and stuff like that. So definitely social media, of course, right?
Yeah. So with the Discord chat, how can they get?
You can search it, the channel, Immortal Vision Studio, through Discord, or you can click the link in our Instagram bio and it takes you there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking this time out. We appreciate you. We definitely look forward to everything that you have coming up, and best blessings on all your continued success. Keep doing what you're doing because there's so many people watching that you don't realize. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes, thank you.